Hey, it's Jessie. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Werkflow. Werkflow is a startup that's empowering dance with technology. And 8 Count is a show where we bring in top dancers and ask them 8 different questions. So the questions start off really light and fun and then start to get spicier. It's kind of like Hot Ones, but with questions about dance. Subscribe to 8 Count on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, etc., etc. And I hope you enjoy this episode. What song are you dancing to or choreographing to right now?
I love freestyling to the song Guilty Conscience. It kind of has like that retro vibe. And anything that kind of reminds me of taking you to another world, that's the type of music I really like right now.
Yeah, transport me.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Mine is, let me make sure I don't mess this up, but I believe it's called A Bar Song by Shabuzi. You follow country music?
Not so much.
Dang,
much.
yeah. It's
respect
it's called A Bar Song, Tipsy, by Shabuzi. He's been blowing up.
Play it. Give us a little snippet.
Oh, are you kidding?
Yeah, play your favorite part.
It's just one of those great. I'm about to put you on. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, okay. I like it.
I love it.
Yeah. So me and my girlfriend are choreographing to that right now because it's just we like country music. I have hid my love for country music, and now I've been stepping into it, and I got some fits, some cowboy hats.
Ooh.
It's really nice. Yeah.
If you were like a cartoon character and you have your go-to dance outfit, what is that dance outfit? All the way from head to your toes.
Oh,
Man.
Cartoon dance outfit. Honestly, like a perfectly like kind of medium fit shirt, t-shirt, red and black. Mostly red, but like black highlights, and then like not skinny jeans, but like just tight enough to where you see the leg movement. Like when I decide to do some stuff, and maybe black. That would be black, and then white shoes, so you see the footwork. And that's pretty it. Pretty basic.
2 questions. Why do you gravitate towards red?
Oh, red has always been my color. I feel like the best things I've ever gotten or done I've been in red. Like, I don't know what it is. My video of it's probably my most viral video, dance video, Chain Hang Low. I was wearing red. But anytime before that, anytime I did a dance video, my friend would always tell me, bro, you should wear red. And I'd be like, why? He's like, bro, because that's your color. Like every time you wear red, it does good. I'm like, you're right. And almost every video I have red on is my best videos.
Damn, I thought you were gonna say like some sort of anime outfit.
I mean, also,
you know what I mean? Like
Red Ranger. I always wanted to be the Red Ranger of the Power Rangers. You know what I'm saying? Like I was my favorite Red Ranger is probably from SPD. And yeah, I was just like, okay, red is the ish. But also, I just have good luck in red.
I love that. Yeah. What kind of shoes do you wear?
Oh, I'm big on the Nikes or Jordans, especially when if I think I'm gonna dance, I want to wear those. But nowadays, I'm getting more into my fashion game, so I wear I wear some Adidas or some shoes that you just can't dance in, but they just look good, like more athletic wear shoes. But I'm big on the J's and like the high tops. Yeah.
Are they the most comfortable for you?
High tops for sure. I love a good ankle support.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like feeling like my ankle's gonna slip out the back of the shoe when I walk.
It's hugged. You want it just.
Yeah, I like a good tight hug. Who doesn't like a good
right? I love hugs.
Yeah, hugs and cuddles, man. Come on.
What about you, Renz? What's your go-to dance outfit?
Oh man, so I also like red because it's a power color. But I would say in general, something that's just not black, because I notice a lot of dancers, I guess specifically freestyle dancers at sessions, they all love wearing dark colors.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of like a tactic that I also like to use for networking. Because a lot of people wear dark colors, I'll just wear any color that pops out. So that's going to be like a bit of a brighter blue, maybe a brighter green or a brighter red.
Yeah.
And then for the bottoms, I just love the baggy fits. So it'll be like cargo pants, just something I can move around and do hip hop dance in. And then for the shoes, I love doing flips and just being light on my feet. So anything that makes me feel like I have a good grip on the ground, you can definitely find me wearing Vans or my Reebok Nylon Classics, something like that.
It's so hard to dance in Vans. I wear Vans to like do fight videos, but not dancing. I would never.
It does depend on the floor. Yeah, for sure. But
you be going off in Vans.
I've
seen you go off in Vans, yeah.
But yes, because if I know I'm going to be doing flips, like I know there's a lot of trickers. I think they'll wear like Vans or just just those smaller shoes that are a little bit more form fitting. for a bit more of that traction on the ground. So
And that helps with the flips?
yeah, it helps me
Oh.
for sure.
It's like wearing feathers, but like they also are shoes.
Yeah.
They're much lighter than like Jordans.
I see.
Yeah, it's like wearing weights. As far as looking cool, you just gotta trust in your style. Like wear what complements your movement. So like for him, when he's talking about lighter shoes, 'cause he's gonna do flips and tricks, it complements his movement. Like for me, I like to glide and be in my toes, and like so I like the support of a strong shoe with a good toe and a ankle support if I want to do something nuts on that. So it all has to make sense with what you do. But and if you think it looks goofy, let people laugh at you when you start dancing and they realize, oh snap, he's actually really amazing. It's probably because of the clothes, and like you just gotta trust that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I actually love that question because I like to think of it as your outfit is an extension of your style. I've been to a lot of dance events, and it's really cool how I can almost tell what someone's style is just based on the shoes they have.
You know,
if
a popper,
yep,
when you
exactly.
see a popper. You know, a crumper when you see them.
If I see the big J's or
yep.
like the tip, yeah,
yes,
I know they're gonna do crump. If I know it's a b-boy, if I see these like Pumas or the Nikes,
yeah,
even just their outfit, it's like very you can move around in it. I don't know. It's
That's
you go to
so- yeah,
you go to
yeah.
enough events and you can tell what someone's style is just based on what they
We
wear.
should play a
So
game
real.
where I show you guys like different pictures of outfits and you have to describe this person's style.
Easy.
Like it's like a,
Ooh, yeah,
a
yeah.
I
news.
love that
Easy.
game. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. You
yes.
know, you know right off the bat. Yep.
Yeah.
If they wear their hat over kind to the side, like, oh, you better do a head spin, or like you do head spins. Like, you get, or if they wear like a beanie or something, you're like, yep, you're gonna trick. But yeah, that'd be a fun game.
What is your go-to dance move if you had to pick one?
I can do it right now. Like I will always do some variation of I have something,
I was about to flip.
toss it. Oh no,
I can do it right now.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Throw some backflip.
Oh,
No, but everyone loves it whether you're a dancer or not. But I have something. I toss it. I go, boom.
Ooh, what
side.
that mouth do?
I know Swerve gonna. He always like makes fun of me for doing it. He's like, Renz, you gotta go out in front of an audience and just and just.
yeah, that's interesting.
love it, yeah.
I love it.
Hey, it works every time.
Hey,
Look,
do
no
your
one thinks of
thing.
using their mouth in dance.
Yeah.
Probably could have worded that.
You're gonna
better.
make
Yeah.
someone very happy.
Someone's watching. I'm good with my mouth.
There you
Okay,
go.
know what?
Wow.
But I think for me, definitely, I love chest pops. Like there's like a good chest pop is such a like, it just seems powerful. Like it's my favorite thing to do. I just love popping my chest.
Give us a pop.
Oh dang! I don't know if I can.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
You just came from the gym too, so he's
Right,
True,
yeah,
so
you
I
got that.
feel the pump. Which the chest pops have gotten better since the gym, which is even better. But yeah, I remember when I was a lot skinnier too. Like people wouldn't expect me to be able to pop my chest so big. So I used to like wearing baggy clothes, and then just boom, you see this chest come out of nowhere.
yeah.
It's like, where's that coming from?
that
Like, yeah,
effect.
it's like
And then your shirt's like also moving with it.
yes. An extension of yourself. But yeah, chest pops for sure.
Exactly. I love how you guys are so unique in your styles. When I watched you battle at So Do You Think You Can Dance, Renz is such an entertaining dancer. Like you're there for the crowd.
Very.
How do you come up with those things?
That's a great question. I think for me, it kind of reflects why I'm not really battling as much, because there's definitely a difference between a performer and a battler. So kind of understanding what you want your intention to be, it's 100% going to read in your dance. So when I'm in a space like So Do You Think, that's one of the only battles that I will actually enter because it is about entertaining the audience. That's why the only other battle since then that I entered was Red Bull Dancer Style. So I know for sure I was entertained and inspired by people like Salah, like Fik-Shun, just people who know how to make the audience smile. For me, that's the win. That's much more of an accomplishment than just trying to make it past the prelim. If I knew that I made one person smile, laugh, or I got the video cameras out,
Yeah.
like for me, that's the biggest win.
You're the same. Do
Oh,
you think about the audience too?
For sure. Well, for people to smile and have a good time is for me to smile and have a good time. And there's such like a transference of energy between the two. One of my favorite things I've ever done in my life, dance-wise, would be street performing, because it's one of those things where that's what tests your performance skill to the max, because you're outside and you're dancing for tips and people are walking by, and you have to not only make them stop, but you have to make them entertain them enough for them to want to reach in their pocket and give you money, like, which is a crazy thing to do. And I remember bringing some people out with me who thought, you know, it would just be easy, and like they don't understand why no one's stopping for them. I'm like, dude, you're not connecting with them at all. Like, you're not looking at them. Like, you're not catching the little things that are making them kind of smirk or making them laugh or making them maybe even a little uncomfortable. Like, so you find ways to like read body language and fine tune what you're doing to then match the energy for the performance. And then, yeah, you give them a show. So I definitely love entertaining. When it comes to battling, you've got to find a happy mix of both too. Sometimes you can't be there for the person in front of you or the people judging you. Sometimes you just got to be there to hype up the crowd, because I think that also reads. It's not just about the crowd; it's also about your skill. But definitely, the crowd is definitely a big part of it too. So if you have that down, then you're more than halfway there. Yeah.
The street performing is so interesting. It kind of feels like a real life version of someone scrolling. It has to catch your eyes enough for you to stop scrolling and pay attention to it.
Yes.
And the first 3 seconds has to lead to the next 5 seconds, to the next 10 seconds.
1,000%. I think people, if they want to get better at like content, if you're a performer or like doing any kind of type of content that's like that type of entertainment, you should practice doing that out in public. See how many people stop for you, like for dancing, for telling a joke, for like causing a scene, whatever it is you do. If you can do it in public well, by all means, it's going to translate on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, because people just feel comfortable in their homes, and like you said, they're scrolling. They're like, well, this is interesting. Let's see what this is about. Same thing when people are walking by and in the real world. So.
Yes. Yeah. Takeaway, study these guys, masterclass in showmanship. Not just, technique, training style, all of that, but also showmanship. This one's really interesting. I love asking this question. I think a lot of people who are watching this know you guys from a certain point in your dance journey and on, but they don't know how you first got started dancing. So tell us about your 0 to 1 journey starting to dance.
0 to 1. Renz, you want to go first?
Yeah. So I love this question. It really makes me think and reflect on the amazing dance journey I've had so far. So it was 2011, and I watched this YouTube video by this dancer named J-Funk, and he was doing tutting in what looked like a dorm room. But the moment I saw that, I was like, that's what I want to learn. And I didn't have any studio access or anything at the time, so I had to just teach myself. And so, I just want people to know that it's okay for not starting in a dance studio or what's considered the conventional way. I think especially now in this digital age, you have so many resources and tools to get you kickstarted on your dance career, your dance journey. But another thing is that as I started, because I was learning from social media, it also affected the types of movements I did. So Fik-Shun was one of the people I watched growing up. And because I didn't have a foundation, all I knew was how to move like Fik-Shun or how to move like Blueprint. These dancers who were in that dubstep dance era, so that 2011, 2012, because that's what was popping at the time. And so I actually think that it's sort of the norm to start off as biting someone and copying someone, because you don't know. You don't know any better. You don't have anything to go off of. But the hope is that as you progress and learn more and hopefully take more classes, that's when you start finding your own voice. I think of it like a singer. You can do as many covers as you want and do other people's work, but then what does it mean to find your own voice? So that was kind of the journey that I had. That's when I started. I took ballet, jazz, and even just getting classically trained, and to where I am now, where now I have this fusion of dance and martial arts. And that's where it becomes really fun, where now I'm not just pulling from dance, but all these other life skills and these different movements outside of dance that I love to apply to my own thing. Yeah.
That was so well said. Thank you for sharing.
Deep. How do you follow that? I mean, yeah, what he said. No, I was kidding.
You were watching yourself?
Yeah, all the time. I loved watching performers when I was a kid. Michael Jackson's my biggest inspiration as far as like me dancing. And, it's funny, everyone can watch an artist and get something different from it. Most people, you would think, oh, you were inspired by Michael Jackson. Why didn't you become a singer, right? But like for me, I just thought his movement was so cool. I thought it was so powerful how he could sometimes stand there or bust out and dance and the crowd go crazy without them having to speak. I kind of didn't like talking much as a kid. I talked a lot around my family, but like in school and public places, I would get very nervous and stutter. And so expressing myself through dance was a lot easier to do. Because like, this thing, if I get this well, like this person, I don't even have to talk and people can like read me and enjoy what I enjoy. So that's what started it. And then my dad, he would always do like the wave in front of me. I thought it was the coolest thing. I was like, what is that moving through your arm? I must learn this skill. So then I started doing that. And I was dancing a lot since I was like 5 years old in Wichita, Kansas, small town, not really big in the performing arts or whatever. So like as far as talent goes, I felt like I was like the best one there. It's like me and this other kid who was like my best friend in Kansas. His name was Wah, and he was super dope. He was a b-boy. I then moved to Vegas, and then I realized, okay, there's way more talented people like in the world. I got humbled real quick, met some dancers who I thought I was better than, and then I battled them and I was like, dang, you guys are amazing and I suck, and I don't know how you can be that good at the same age as me, but you're that good. I need to train. And then to watching yourself, like myself, using the guys who were good, they was like, bro, film yourself and watch yourself back and critique yourself. And like, so I'm super big on like standing in front of a mirror or like seeing yourself in a reflection and deciding if you are really as good as you think you are versus how good you can be compared to others who are great. And that really, I think, skyrocketed my development training wise, because I was always being very honest with myself on if I was better than somebody or not, or if I was as good as I felt. Like I would feel good, dance. I would look at it, wow, this is great. And I'm going to go watch the people who are amazing. I'm going to go, but it's not even close to that. So we got to keep going. And I kind of just rinsed and repeated that for a long time until it starts to hit. And those are the things where, people don't see how much work you put into your craft, and they think, oh, you just are funny and make people smile so people love you and that's why you're a star, blah, blah, blah. I had to learn these things.
We were just talking about this.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the speed run of my 0 to 1. But yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I love what you said about filming yourself and being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
Oh my goodness, it is. Not a lot of people want to do it. People are so ready for oh, you're good, you're amazing, you're great. People would tell me I'm good and great, but then I would again go look at the greats and go, but then what do you think they are? And then when I hear the same thing, oh, they're amazing, they're great, I'm like, well, there's somewhere here there's a lie in my head. That's how I saw it, because I'm like, we can't both be amazing and great, but their skill level is so much ahead of mine. I can't accept this until I look like that.
Yeah.
Until I'm that good.
Yeah.
Then I'll start taking those compliments. Then I'll start. So like and a lot of people don't want that. They want the right now gratification. No, I'm amazing now. But see, what that does is then that lowers people's inspiration or drive to be better, because they're already, if you already told you that you're perfect and you're great, you have nothing to strive for, which is the toughest mountain to climb and get past, because you can't see it because someone else already told you and you believe, oh no, I'm amazing. So yeah, I didn't really like that when I was younger, being told I was the best. I was like, but Omarion's the best, Chris Brown's the best. Like, these are people I looked at like they dance way better than me. I can't be the best. The best is one person above all, like in my head. So yeah, I always had that mentality as a kid.
Yeah.
I honestly think like that's the best type of feedback as a dancer. I think like social media didn't really help as much, in the sense that we're so used to getting that gratification. Or for example, on Instagram, you're only getting likes. So you have someone telling you, oh, I like this. But for me, even not just in dance, but beyond dance, I find that most growth when people are saying, hey, you know what? You suck. Like you just got to be honest and say, you know, you definitely could have done this better. You weren't in the right mindset for this. Even just that meticulous attention to detail, that's where I found the most growth. It's that brutal honest. It's not being rude. It's just being real.
Yeah.
You have to have that.
But then sometimes people say you suck when you don't suck. It's like, okay, calm down.
That is true.
Like, what is
that
sucking?
balance?
Yeah, you need a balance. Like, okay, you could be better 1,000%. You're trash. Whoa, trash? Like, I can show. I can look up the worst dancing ever, and you're telling me that's what I dance like.
Yes.
Come on, let's be real here. So, happy medium for sure. Happy medium.
Yeah. Also being picky about whose feedback is important to you.
Yes.
Like, your feedback is important to you. Your own feedback.
Yeah.
What are some things you guys struggled with when you first started dancing?
He's like, I gotta think about this for a second.
Though I know. I can go first. You want me to go first?
Yeah, I should go for it.
Well, it was the you sucks. So again, it's funny, right? Because like I knew, like I know I don't suck. Calm down. If you fight too hard for when you know your worth and you truly are an unbiased person, you come off cocky, and people want to say you're trash just to mess up your ego. But really in your head, like, no, I'm not saying I'm the best. I just know I'm better than you or this person or that, like, and that's just a fact. And you can't take that from me. But many people tried, and so had a lot of friction. People had a lot of friction with fiction back then, when I was, speaking my mind. But I never was afraid to speak my mind. I was always like, once I found my voice in dance, I found my voice like in life.
Yes.
And I always tell people like dance helped me. Everything I learned in dance, I actually utilize in my day to day. The way I talk, the way I express myself, all learned through dance. And then I just replicated that to my normal stuff. So when it comes to speaking my mind, I let people know. And that was a big struggle. And then people always telling me that, I was wasting my time with dance and I wouldn't make it. And, I can't get a career out of it because all I do is do freestyle hip hop. Like I need to learn all this other stuff. And that mentally made, as much as it drove me to prove them wrong, it was tough to hear. Especially you're young, you have dreams and people are shitting on them, excuse my French, but pooping on my dreams. It hurts. And then at some point you start to believe it. You're only human. So you only take so much, especially, as you're growing up. So yeah, I've been very depressed at one point and was like this close to giving up on a lot of things, including my dance career. And I'm so happy I didn't. And it's so rewarding to keep going and prove those people wrong. It's the ultimate, like, comeback or like, I don't want to say revenge, but it feels good to know that, oh man, I'm happy I didn't listen to them.
Yeah.
So going through that type of ridicule and people just not understanding how like messed up it is to try to shut someone's dreams down, which is why I never like to do that. Like, even if I'm telling you like you're bad, there's people, I've had moments, I've been that guy being like, yo, you suck, you're trash. Usually it's a reactive thing because people have tried to come at me and tell me I'm like, no, you're dog shit. But then after that, I always tell them like, but at the end of the day, whether I'm telling you you're trash or whatever, don't listen to me. Like you have to keep pushing past that because sadly, that's a part of reality and a part of life that will be there. Not everyone's going to be nice to you. It's just what it is. You can't beg for niceness. People are not going to give it to you. People will be mean. Even if I'm the one being mean to you, someone you look up to, I'm telling you now, keep going. Like, because I've also had that. People I've looked up to have been mean to me. But when I'm telling you that you're trash, it's not to tear you down. It's for you to open your eyes and realize you can be so much better.
Yes.
But whether you get that or not, you need to still, you know what I'm saying, you need to keep pushing past all that because there's harder things in life. And we'll get into that later. But sorry.
Yeah, no, I love that. It's I think for me, one of the biggest challenges I had in my progression of dance was feeling like I had to dance a certain way. I know one of the things was I wasn't winning battles and I couldn't even make it past prelims. And so that was a big hurt to my ego because I just felt like I would train so hard only for people to not see all the hard work that I had put in behind closed doors. But I think one of the most refreshing things I heard was from my friend Animated Jay. And he's actually the reason why I was able to meet Fik-Shun. But he created spaces, absolutely. He would create these spaces for dancers who could just move. And he would say, I want you to not think about just dancing. I want you to just think about movement. What is that movement to you? What is the way that you want to move? Not the way you want to dance, the way you want to move. So if you want to bring in capoeira, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, salsa, just any way that you want to move. How does that manifest itself in terms of expressing just who you are, the movement and your outfit, all that being an extension of yourself? And that's when I realized that there are so many spaces and different platforms and different environments where dancers can feel that sense of belonging. So for me, I felt like I had to move a certain way or dance like a specific person in order to feel like I belong, when the reality was that growth, the real growth as a dancer, came from me experiencing life. And that came from one of the best teachers I ever had. Shout out to Kevin Paradox. He's known as the Bruce Lee of hip hop. And he told me the best single way to grow as a dancer is to simply go through life. Go through life. There's a reason why dancers will dance better if you've experienced heartbreak or if you've experienced not knowing if you're going to be able to pay rent or not. Those are real experiences that you bring to your dance. Right? Like that's some real shit.
You gotta live it. You can't.
Exactly. You can only act and portray this certain character for so long, but when you've actually experienced that, I promise you that feeling alone and that almost like that method acting and that experience it really shows itself in your dance and people will resonate with that. And that's where I felt like that sense of belonging was happening more and more, because I'm like, oh, you know what it's like to be depressed and have those dark thoughts. So then naturally, I didn't even have to chase it. I started gravitating, and people were coming into my life who understood, you move this way and it made me feel something. And that's where the community found me versus me trying to find a community. And that's why I will always be a huge advocate for freestyle dance, because there are so many different ways to move, and freestyle dance extends well beyond just the battles. I can tell you that right now.
That was so beautifully said. I really like a lot of sad songs. And I told my boyfriend, I was like, can you just break up with me for like 2 days so I can just...
So I can embrace these songs. Like, I want to
for 2
relate,
days is
but I
crazy.
can't right
It's
now.
not hitting. It's not hitting.
That's so real.
I need some space, real quick.
And they won't hit you until that break. Oh my
I
God.
know.
Can you just give me some... But
That's
like do
crazy,
it unexpectedly so that I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
really listen to the song and be like...
Yeah.
Hey, is there something nice about? I mean, songs can save your life, man. Oh my gosh, there's something beautiful about music. I've heard like, I don't know if you ever heard like some very religious people, you know, all music's the devil and stuff like that. But I'll be like, no way. Like just some things, like it's therapy, man. Like it really does get you through, especially when people are just talking about their experiences and like they're putting it into song. Like that's powerful, and that should never be, you know, undermined or like undervalued, because that gets people the same way when people see dancers and the dancers don't even know people are watching them. You could be saving someone's life just from them watching you move. Music saves so many lives just from sitting there with your headphones in, being like, dang, I feel it. But if I do something to myself, or you know, something bad happens, I can't listen to this music anymore. So I gotta keep pushing. I gotta keep going. Like I can't just stay here. It's nice.
It actually reminds me of this quote that I heard from an entrepreneur/neurologist. And he said, as your body moves, your brain grooves. And that's what I love, because you're literally getting that physiological response. And so I totally get it. You're activating so many of these neural pathways and you're activating all these muscles. So I can totally see how internally and externally you're like hitting all these birds with one stone. That's just one of the many beauties of
Go
dance.
off, Dr. Renz.
No, I'm not a doctor.
Dr. Riz is more
Dr.
like it.
Riz.
Don't let him play you. Hold on.
Get this man a restraining order.
Oh, snap.
She got the puns.
That didn't even fit in this context, but I saw that on Twitter and I
She
was like, I'm
couldn't
gonna use
resist.
Ooh.
Let me stop.
Snap.
Okay, now
I'm a Risley bear. Okay,
Let's
we're done, we're done.
resume.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you two met through one of those freestyle session spaces. Can you talk about
Yes.
how you guys met in your friendship?
Go, Renz.
Yeah,
Oh.
so I'm like, you okay?
I'm good.
I did. So it was actually after I was on the show So You Think You Can Dance, and I met Animated Jay, whom I brought up before, because we had met through freestyle sessions, and he loved my enthusiasm and just my love for being able to move, and recognizing that there are people who move differently, and that's okay. So because he and I were so close, he was saying, hey, there's these freestyle sessions at, I think, Space, back when that was a thing. I don't think it's there anymore. But he was like, you should come by. And I said, okay. And I go there, and Fik-Shun was there. And of course, you know, me being I was such a huge fanboy. This was someone that I saw growing up and on YouTube. I was keeping my cool. I was calm and collected on the outside, but on the inside, I was like, oh my God, it's Fik-Shun. Oh my God, it's Fik-Shun. Oh my God, it's Fik-Shun. I don't know if you knew this, but
I did not
I was
know this.
freaking out when I first met you. But I was like, damn, okay, I've done the training, I put in the work, let's just go in and have fun. And for me, it was already a win, just being able to be in the same cipher as him was such an honor. And of course, that night, I remember this to the T. He came up to me at the end of the session and he said, you're hella dope. And then he walked off. Right, and I'm sure in your mind that was just like, oh yeah, this guy's dope. Like it was just a quick, like, it wasn't anything big.
I'm
It
big
was
on
just
telling
like
people things if I think it. If I think it, I got to tell you so that way I'm not saying it when you're not around. Like, so you know, like, you know, I did say this. I do feel this way about you. So that makes sense.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that night, it was after that session. I think I literally posted privately on either Facebook or Instagram. I was like, Fik-Shun said, like, see, we can say this now because like we're good friends, but I was freaking out. Like just hearing that, it was such a big accomplishment. But that's where I first met him. It was at Space freestyle session.
Do you remember that?
He's like, nah. It's okay. No,
I go to so many sessions and I meet so many people. And so it's funny because as me and Renz got closer, I always knew that I'd seen him and knew him and knew he was dope, at some point you just forget of the origin. Like I forgot of the start. So I'm like, dang, like it's like if you date someone for too long, well, never mind. This probably should never happen. I was gonna say you forget where you met, but you shouldn't forget that.
Wait, who are you?
Maybe like what song was playing at the time. You're like, I don't remember
Like
that.
details,
like,
yeah.
certain details. It's like but like I knew it was at a session, and I every time I see his face, I'm like, that kid's dope. Like there's some people I just label in the category of like dopeness based off of like their face and me seeing them dance. So every time I seen him pop up, I was like, yeah, that kid's dope. I can't wait to see him get in the circle. Like I knew that every time, but I did not remember the first time that I'd seen him. But it makes sense that I would say that because you are dope, and I would say that every single time.
How did you
Appreciate
guys just start becoming friends after that?
Man, we just kept popping up in the same circles, and then
Yeah, because I know you were going to a lot of battles with CJ. You
Yes.
two were entering more and more battles. And,
Yes.
so
And
we were
he
seeing
was
each other at
going-
more dance battle scenes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then sure enough, we started working together shortly after that. I didn't know he did martial arts too. And then so now we're on the same fight team.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's such a sweet story. You both have martial arts backgrounds,
Mhm.
and both martial arts and dance are far more than just the physical movement. How do you think they've influenced each other's style, training methods, philosophies, etc.?
Oof.
Such a good question.
It's funny because a lot of people. So I did martial arts before I started dancing because my dad is a Taekwondo instructor. So I jumped into that immediately. But dance was always something that I showed to people because we was always taught not to like show your skills or showboat your skills in martial arts. So I kept it in the background a lot of the time. But when I would dance, a lot of people would always tell me I look like I'm fighting, which I thought was very cool because I was like, it's funny because I do train. So, it built me like with strong legs, which I did a lot of leg stuff, when I was a little younger. And yeah, people always ask me like, why is your core and your foundation so strong as far as like your physicality? And I don't know why I couldn't think of it as a kid, but I was like, oh, it's because I do martial arts. But martial arts was just such a thing that I did automatically that I didn't account that for like, I wasn't trying to make that the reason why I was strong. So I didn't think to say that when people would ask, but they definitely play into each other. My dad always said a good martial artist makes for a good dancer, and good dancers make for great martial artists. So they definitely intertwine. I feel like they've always intertwined. And I've loved how they kind of play off each other. As far as like discipline goes, man, anyone who's been in some hard martial arts discipline, you can really take that and apply that to everything. I think everything I do, whether I switch up what I'm doing or I want to learn a new skill or something, I apply the way I trained in martial arts to the way I train in anything. My dad always says you perform how you practice. So if you half-ass something, you're just marking it, boom. When you decide to do it full out, it's going to come out more half-assed than it will, expert level or like good. So yeah, I train hard, and it's because of martial arts that I train so hard in anything I do, which I think is why you can get good at something if you put in that 10,000 hours or whatever. Like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so this question really hits close to home because it connects to my why, which is essentially I want people to know that the martial arts mindset is the winning mindset. So for me at a young age, I already got to experience that feeling of hard work when I got my world championship in weapons, when I became a 3rd degree black belt. Those are memories that I will always cherish and hold on to because of the amount of work and practice that was put into it. But also, a lot of people tend to think that martial arts is just the self-defense. And of course, that's extremely important depending on what you want to do with that training. But for me, it's also always been the life skills. It's the respect, the discipline, the nobility, all these qualities that you can take with you into anything. And so already 11 or 12-year-old Renz was already thinking to himself, man, if I won my world title at such a young age and I was able to accomplish this, what else can I accomplish? So now that's as time progressed, I got to experience, okay, martial arts training has allowed me to take it into the dance world. And now I have the confidence to command authority, right? I now know what it's like to handle a bunch of rowdy kids who need to get that energy out, right? In some way, shape, or form, whether that's dance or martial arts. That's one of the many things. Or thanks to my martial arts training, I now have the social skills to go and network with people at this big dance event or at a battle. And that's another thing that I advocate for is that if you know how to freestyle dance, I've actually figured out a way to utilize freestyle dance as a form of networking, because that's how I've been able to meet a lot of great dancers. It's almost like that's the conversation starter, but that's just sort of one of my own things I got going on. But there's a lot of great life skills that you take from martial arts that you can apply to dance, and vice versa as well. I find all these beautiful full circle moments where I'm like, damn, like I see these similarities in martial arts and dance.
Wow.
1,000%. Yeah, if you I have a saying, if you master one thing, then you can master anything. So like, an idea to master something, you can utilize those skills of what you use to master it, or what comes with that, and apply it to any other thing you want to apply to. And 9 times out of 10, you will grow faster. You'll just progress faster than someone doing it for the first time, or someone who's never mastered anything.
Because you've learned how to learn.
Yeah. Oh man. Yep.
Yes.
Got to learn how to learn. That's
It's a
real.
zinger.
That's deep.
Thank you.
It's true.
Somebody got to quote her. Learn how to learn.
I know.
I'll quote myself.
There you
That's gonna
go.
be an Instagram reel.
Exactly. Yeah, that's an X post. It's not Twitter anymore.
That's an X. You guys were both on So You Think, but different timelines.
Correct.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When were you on?
I was season 16, and I know you were season 10, correct?
Yeah.
So I was in 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your experience on the show?
Ooh, yeah. It's the hardest thing we've ever done. Going on, especially if you didn't train for it. And I was big on proving points back when I was younger. And so like before I did So You Think, I did this show called Live to Dance. And long story short, the first audition I did was great. Then when I got to the live show, I bombed and it was terrible. And it was the point where I wanted to quit. And I told myself I'll never do a TV show again. And so I went through my depression and all this stuff. So then when So You Think came around, I didn't follow So You Think. My dad actually was like, dude, you keep saying you want to dance and I'm not seeing you putting in enough work. I'm like, I'm dancing all the time in my room. Like, that's a lot of work. I'm street performing. He's like, no, I need to see you, like, go get a job dancing. I'm like, okay, you're kind of right. And so I looked up auditions, and the only thing I was old enough and tall enough to do, y'all don't know if you've ever heard of Craigslist, but my dad was big on Craigslist. He's like, look on Craigslist and find some, like, Craigslist, what is this? This is what people do. And I don't know if Craigslist's still around, but I went, and So You Think Your Dance season 10 was on Craigslist as an audition.
That's so funny.
Really?
So yes, it was. And that's why I was like, sure, I'll do this. And so, yeah, when I went, my only goal was for my audition to be viral. Because when I looked it up a little bit, mostly the auditions pop up. So now I'm looking at street dancers that I've seen go on the show, and they have like their auditions are getting like 100,000, 50,000. Like, to me, that's a lot of views. I was like, if I just do that, I'd be happy. So I do good on the auditions, and then they're like, oh, now you're gonna come to the next round. And I'm like, I'm already satisfied. I could go home now. But then, the competitiveness in me kicks in, and I don't want to give up. And then I go to this Vegas. So I didn't know about the structure. You know about the structure, So You Think?
No.
So you go through auditions. If you make it past that, you go to this thing called Vegas Week. That's what they had back then, where you do all the styles. And then if you like kind of suck, they make you dance for your life, which then is in your style, and they could keep you. But then after Vegas Week, then you get picked to go into the live show, into the top 20, and then you compete every week, back to back. So in Vegas Week, I just thought if I keep doing my solos really well, I don't have to do the other styles. So when I got there, I'm meeting all these dancers. They're like, oh, what's your style? I'm like, oh, I'm a freestyle, boom, boom. Like, oh, do you train anything else? I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, well, hip hoppers don't make it that far. I'm like, first of all, ouch. Second of all,
not wrong.
What's that mean? Like, I can't. They're like, yeah, you're gonna have to do all the styles. I said, no, I'm just gonna do really good at my solos. They're like, no, it doesn't matter. After the solo round, you have to do other styles. I was like, I'm probably going home. Yeah. But I did my solo, crushed it, cool. And then they're like, next, you gotta do choreo. Oh my gosh, choreography. I was so bad at choreo. But I worked very hard. And that was my biggest thing I wanted to prove, was that if you work and give 100% into what you do, you will get great results. But you have to put 100%. It can't be 80, can't be 85, can't be 92, can't be 97. Got to be 100. And every day, oh my gosh, I was up the latest and up the earliest of every call time. And we made it through, got to the live show, same thing there. Like, my first week was terrible. I bombed. I was the only dancer that didn't get a standing ovation. All the other dancers got standing ovation, and I was me and a partner, and they literally told me that my partner was great, and the reason why we didn't give you standing ovation because you were trash. And I was like, here we go, starting off top 20 with this. Not to mention, I also snapped my ankle right before, like it was.
Oh my God.
Everything, and this is why I have my outlook on life, and I hate when people tell me, "Oh, you're just lucky," or "Oh, I'm not." If they complain, "I'm not lucky like you," or "I can't do this, I can't that." I hate it with a passion because not only did I bomb my first week of my So You Think, not only did I go there, only with mastery of my freestyle training and not the other stuff. Not only did I snapped my ankle and was injured actually for the first like month and a half while doing that show, and I never told anyone. Only the dancers and the choreographers knew because I didn't want a sob story. Like I'm big on. I'm either gonna be good because I'm good, or I'm gonna suck because I suck. I don't want pity. I hate pity. Like personally, I want to do it myself. I want to take care of it. The photo shoot before the live performances, they asked me, "Can I do a backflip?" And I said, yeah, sure I can. Because everyone else was doing tricks and flips and I wanted to be cool like them. Part of me was still in that mode of like, oh, they doing cool things. I want to do cool things too. FOMO. Sure. The first flip I try to do a one-legged gainer.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd done it before, but I hadn't did it in like months. No, actually, probably a year. So I go to do it.
Tops?
Yes. And I was wearing my high tops.
That makes a difference.
I didn't know that. I went to do it. I landed. All I heard was loud. Like, huge. And then I stood there. And he's like, wow, that was great. I think we got the shot. Can you do it again? I said, no, I don't think I can. He said, okay, that's fine. Well, you can just pose and stuff. So I'm posing and I'm boom. And I'm slowly feeling the pain creep up from my ankle up to the top of my shin, almost to my knee. And I'm just like, this is bad. The producer comes over. He goes, why are you limping? I was like, oh, nothing, blah, blah. He said, did you hurt yourself? I'm like, no, I didn't. Let me see your ankle. You look at my ankle. It's all swollen like a knot. He's like, you just go to the hospital. I said, no. I'm not going because I know if I go, they're going to literally tell me not to dance. I'm doing the show. And he said, okay, that's if you don't go, we can't make you. So sure enough, I go. And again, like all cards stacked against me. And every week I just gave it my all. I did physical therapy myself. Like I was just focused. I was honed in and end up winning. And so like no one can tell me, with that much odds stacked against me and I never watched the show. I didn't know any of the terminology. I didn't know who to impress, who not to impress, who to talk to the right way, who to talk to the wrong way. I was just being myself and giving it my all, and it worked out. And I tell people all the time, be yourself and give it your all, and it will work. And all those excuses are literally just excuses. They're just things that you have to get through, but life wouldn't give you those things if you couldn't get past it.
And you're a savage. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
If that was me, I'd be like, my ankle. I'm just kidding.
No, some people left though. Some people left from injuries, and I was just like, and they were like, do you want to? No, I mean, at the time maybe I did think that, but yeah, they were like, do you want to leave? I'm like, or do you want to? I'm like, nope, I don't. Nope, don't check me out.
Dang.
No, nothing.
Oh.
But if you look closely too, and like anything in the first performances, if you can see like my ankle, I'm wearing this ankle brace thing because it dulled the pain a little bit. And like for this routine I do, it's a bellhop routine, and I'm doing one of my signature moves where I'm going all the way down to the ground, but I couldn't get all the way down because I'm injured. So like I have to lean on one side so that way like I'm not on my injured leg. Like the clues are there.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I started leaning to the side.
Stylistic choice. You hit that really well then.
There was nope. I was like, because if I go to this side, it's over. And it's funny because for my audition, I did it all great and everything. Yeah. For that performance, they wanted it, and I was like, I can go this way, and even then I can only go so low. And they were like, okay, that's fine. We'll make it work. And sure enough, yeah. So never talked about it. Didn't want pity, and I wanted to see it through to the end. Without that, just from people enjoying what I can do and what I could do from what I had to work with.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see it. Get to where you want it because that's dope.
Thank you.
Especially,
I'm fucking stoked.
No, Jesse, I always love hearing you speak about it because I've met a lot of people who, when they talk about such big projects, like you can tell it's kind of like a passion project or just like a pipe dream, but no, you're actually like committed to this and making this shit happen.
Yeah.
And it always reads that way. So
thank you.
Thank you for, what you're doing for the dance community.
Thank you. Real artist ship. Have you guys heard that quote?
Mm-mm.
So a lot of people, I think most people actually have a lot of creativity in them, but the difference between just regular people, and true artists and creators is we ship as in like, oh, we ship the product, whatever. Real artists deliver. So, and it's not, you know, perfect. It's not going to be perfect ever, but it's not even good when you start. But it's the grit to be able to get through that phase. Because the whole last year, like Renz, okay, so we did like a test product last year in last June, and Renz was one of my first customers, and it was shit. Wait, I want to tell the story as we're running it.
I let her know.
Have we been filming this whole time?
Oh yeah, I never cut.
Oh,
I never
fucking
cut.
phenomenal. Okay, because this was actually amazing.
Cameras were on you most of that time.
Okay, well, that's all that matters. I'm just kidding.
No, hey, go on.
Gas yourself up, yeah.
So he was one of our first customers, and at that time, I didn't have any money. And so we used like a no-code platform to try to make a marketplace, right? Because that's my whole platform. We're connecting the whole dance industry to consumers. When Ren started using it, he was like, all these things are wrong with it and blah, 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 blah. And then
But you need that.
I was so, like, that email was so validating for me because it was like, wow, this person gets what we're trying to do and he wants to use the version that I see in my head also. It's just not there yet.
Well,
and I'm like, fuck yeah, like I at least put something out there and I'm at least getting this conversation.
And you made it for dancers, so it's dope that a dancer's like, oh, well, this will work better. And because that's only gonna make it a diamond project because of that. Like some people create things and they're so like in the world of how they want it to be versus like what will work for, when you're making something for other people or like for, you know, a bigger group, those things are so important to like factor in. What do they care about? Like what makes this easier for them to use, especially if it's to help? So the way you're doing it is perfect. Some people get blinders and they're like, no, but this is what I want. It's like, but that's what you want. But also the person telling you who's you want it for is telling you it's not good. Some people won't even listen to
You can't
listen
be
to that
so
criticism.
married to your own assumptions. You can't be so precious about how perfect you want to seem.
Yeah.
Rather exactly like what you can do with what you have and then working with the people who are on your team, basically. So I'm really lucky to have met Renz through shipping that first product and having it be shit. And then being like, you know what, we're gonna sunset that. And then I have all of this feedback from our and like you and like, you know, dozens of other people who felt really passionate about what we were trying to do. And that I'm only here because of people like you.
And Jesse, I just wanted to kind of piggyback off of that. Obviously, you know, the email that I had sent, of course I kept it professional. And I did make it clear in the email. I was like, you know, I just say all this like because I care.
Yes.
And I really love just like, because I remember she made it seem like at the last party that we were at, she made it seem like I was like, man, this thing is trash. I hate it. Worst thing ever.
I was joking.
I know. I love it. But
inside you felt that way.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, like, okay.
She read between the lines.
Look, if you're filling out like the contact information, you take the time to fill all these things out and it doesn't save. Like that's frustrating.
Oh my God, yeah.
But look, I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah.
But it also made me realize, you know, I guess how spoiled I was because already used to things like Instagram where they already have their systems in place. But the fact that you responded the way you did, Jesse, I think that to me, it spoke volumes about your character because you totally could have been like, who's this Renz dude? Who's this random Mexipino who thinks he can talk shit on me and everything I've worked on, right?
Yep.
But no, you took it and you said, hey, you actually told me that you were going to talk with your engineers and, you know, talk about what can we do better. And that's super important, especially when you're creating a product for people. And that was just one of the many ways that you showed me that you care about this. So because you care, it really makes me care.
Yeah.
That's how you get better, man.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I think a lot of other people are going to care.
Yeah.
In the
Thank
future.
you. Thank
That's
you.
a great quality. Don't ever lose that quality. That literally is the difference between people who are successful and who are not. Because man, if you can't take some genuine like criticism, like again, like I've talked about this before with Renz, I think, but like when you post on like social media and stuff, right? Like there's this thing where there'll be like 1,000 likes or more likes than comments. And then in the comments, most of them are great, but there's like 2 or 3 bad ones. And like sometimes I do look at the bad ones, and if they're just completely ignorant, it's like, okay, that's not even relevant to the video. But when they're like breakdowns of like, you know, something that I could improve on, I actually take that and I go, oh, I'm not mad at that. Okay, you know what? Let me try that in the next, and then that stuff be working sometimes. I'd be like, see, I wouldn't have never, if I was stuck in my thing, I would never did something or took the criticism and then made something better. So yeah, I think that's like a thing that qualifies or like counts in all parts of life.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
so
guys.
that's great.
Of course.
All right, enough about me. What was your most memorable dance performance?
You go first.
We talking free or paid?
Actually, let's do free first, and then I'll ask about dance job.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's weird. I almost go in. I have different mindsets for both, whether it's free or paid. I would say for paid performance, I got invited to this birthday party for Peter Saji, who I believe was the producer for the shows Blackish and Mixedish. But what I loved most about the experience was not just that itself, but the events leading up to it. So I had to kind of take on the role. I had to take on the role of the agent because they wanted more breakers. So we were in crunch time, right? We had a deadline coming up. We needed more performers. It wasn't just me. So I literally told Amber, the coordinator, like, hey, don't worry. I know multiple B-boys, B-girls. Let me handle it. I promise I'll get you some dancers. And I really got to kind of step into the shoes of what it's like, even just to manage all that stuff, because I had to work around schedules, which I know you know this very well, Jesse.
Oh,
but
yeah.
being able to just handle a team at that level for a paid gig, and on top of that, negotiating prices, that's when I got to experience, wow, this was a perfect opportunity for me to be the voice of dancers and say, hey, this is what we're worth. Let's talk this out. Pay us what we're worth. And in hindsight, I will admit, I could have asked for even more at the end of the day, but that was so eye-opening. And it was such a fun gig too. Even though we worked in a bit of a smaller space, I have the photos to prove it. But it was a really fun gig, and it was a fun
performing
time.
for a birthday?
Yeah, it was a birthday. It was a private birthday.
Those are rough. They can be challenging.
Yeah,
I did one birthday and I told myself I'd never do it again. Had a good time, but I'm gonna say no next time for sure.
Yeah.
that's fair. Yeah.
And then what about not paid?
I actually have to think about that one.
Okay.
Do you want to? Yeah.
Yeah. Dang, paid versus not paid. Man, they're all the same to me. Like I kind of can't differentiate because the ones that like I got paid for, it was like super low, so it might as well have been for free. And then the ones that were like high pay, I like, it wasn't as personable. So I was like, most memorable performance. I don't want to say the one that everyone probably expects me to say, but I'm gonna say it. Water Dance Vegas, Chain Hang Low, 2014. Yeah, it was that was like, so there was a thing that people kept telling me after I won So You Think, and it was all the So You Thinkers. They're like, everyone always forgets about the winners. Everyone always forgets about the winners. It's the people who don't win who like who make it and do all these things, whatever. I'm like, well, maybe they just got lazy. Like, I'm not a lazy person. I'm not gonna stop. You think I'm done after this? Like, this was never my dream to win So You Think. Like, I want to dance, perform, and give people, a show or like, give back through my artistry. That's it. So that doesn't stop after So You Think. And so I started doing these like live performances because I was thinking, what's the next thing I can do to perform? And sure enough, I reached out to World of Dance and I was like, hey, as long as I do it for free, I just want to dance on your platform. I just think it's a great place where people already have eyes on it. And, I would love to perform. And so I had a couple performances. They did pretty good. And then I don't know what it was, but this one, I was wearing red.
Of course.
I wore red and I loved the song Dust That Was Big then. And I was in my competitive phase. I'm sure you heard of the Les Twins. The Twins. So they were performing at the same stage, and I always told myself like I want to do a video where I get more views than them, like because they perform because they perform at World Dance LA, and I was like, man, I just want to beat them in views for once, like, and I'm like, and for me it wasn't about like the song I thought it was about the skill, like if I'm good enough, I'll get it. So and at the time, my ego was a little boosted because when I would do the Water Dance performances, I was always put last. Which they saved the best for last. But then when I did one with the Twins for the first time, they put them last. So I was like, I'm about to go off and show them why I should. And I had fun and it was great. And that was probably one of the few times they complimented me. Came and was like, dude, that was smart. Like the way you performed, that was really smart. And I was like, oh. Thank you. You'll never get, not to say they're mean. They're not mean, but you will really hear them give a compliment to like the everyday dancer, especially a dancer that's not like big yet, or at least they don't see in their eyes. So, which is fine. I still respect them. We argue all the time, but I respect those guys.
What do you mean by argue?
Like, they're trying to tell me who I am, and I try to tell them, you're not my daddy, and I'm a grown man. You can't tell me who I am. And then we just go back and forth. And they're quick to try to sun you. And I'm like, I'm not the one. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how much you think you put to the game. You didn't teach me, motherfucker. Anyway, so that performance, I had a lot to prove for myself. And when that thing started blowing up, I was like, it still gets brought up. Like, and every time I see it pop up, it's got some more million. I'm like, dang, I wouldn't mind letting it go. But
yeah,
that's the thing.
Timeless.
And I'm appreciative of that. And like, I love that I've left my stamp more than anything of entertaining. I want to leave my stamp of who I am as a dancer onto the world. And I did that. After that, I know I've done tons of battles and proved myself in that. But like, that's always the one performance that people come back to when I meet them on the street. They're like, this started me as my dance journey. This made me want to dance. This made me, this got me through depression. This saved my life. There's a lady, I go to Melrose as many Sundays as I can go. Every time I see her, she gives me like free stuff, and she makes the dopest jacket. She's so good. Her name is Lyric of Hope on Instagram. Check her stuff out. She's great. Anyway, she's like, you saved my life. You have no idea. Like, I didn't even want to do this stuff. And then I saw you dance, and now I got into, and I'm like, and now I'm getting dope clothes because of so that's the one. And I'm happy to have done that. And
it's incredible.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I was gonna add for myself, I actually, for the for the free performance, it was actually an unaired section on So You Think, but I actually got to perform a solo. They didn't call it Dancing for Your Life. They just said we wanted to see a second solo from.
Yeah, they've changed. They've changed their terms.
The format changed a lot over the years for sure. But for me, that meant a lot because Dietrich was one of the judges, and he loved it because this was one of the first times where I got to showcase that fusion of dance and martial arts. But the biggest thing I took from that performance was the compliment I got from Lorianne Gibson, and she had said that she loved watching me push myself, and she said I was one of the most humble people that she met. So for me, at that point, I was like, I don't care win or lose. I'm gonna go home knowing that she said that, and that's a win.
That's such an ironic compliment because I can imagine being like, wow, I'm the most humble person in the world.
I know, like me saying that, I'm like, I'm the most humble,
Right, to say
funny.
It contradicts your humbleness.
I know.
But yeah, you should live in that.
That's hilarious.
Let me remind you that I'm so humble.
Yeah.
I'm the nicest person you ever meet. No, I'm the nicest. Like, there's another guy nicer than me.
Literally. When you were talking about your story with like World of Dance and your kind of like hunger to not even prove yourself. You don't need to prove anything, but to just do what you know you can do. One of my favorite quotes, I had it in my Insta for a bit, but it's a hungry dogs run faster.
That's real life. But see, at the time though, I was young. I did feel like I needed to prove myself. But what I realized is proving yourself is a very endless cycle, and it can turn very toxic quickly because to someone out there, you're not enough always, and they're always going to remind you that you're not, and you can't do it for them and listen to them, or else you will be chasing that bone forever until your legs fall off and you'll never get it. And then you realize, but until you realize I got bones at home. Like we got
bones at home.
Yeah, I got my treats at home. Why am I running for this one like, why is this one so special? Because there's someone out there telling me that it's not mine and it doesn't deserve, and I can't get it. Even if I tried, or no matter how good I am, I'll never get it. So you want to prove to them, no, I can get it. It's right there. But you won't, because like I said, like there's always an endless amount of people who are not going to be satisfied with you. And when I stop chasing that's one thing I tell myself I do differently with like my martial arts journey, now doing more action film stuff, is I'm not chasing anybody's bone. Like I'm cooking the food in my own kitchen. I got enough food for myself. And now I just want to share. I just want to share what I got. And I'm so happy that I'm doing it that way. And it's boosted me faster than I was boosted with dance, because I was trying to prove a point to people. Which again, it does work for a while. It's okay to be hungry. Be hungry. Be competitive. For sure. Don't try to prove no points to nobody but yourself. I'd overly proven it to myself over and over and over again, but I just kept letting the voices and people be like, well, but you didn't see it? I just showed it. Yeah, but you didn't do it this way. So now I gotta do it this way. I do it that way. Yeah, but you did it that way, but it could have been more like this. Fine, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Every time I show up and I show that I can do it. Why? I don't need to convince you.
Yeah.
Like, and then you realize when you stop doing that, people convince those people for you. Like, you don't have to do it anymore. You get people to be like, no, he is good. No, F you. You go kick rocks. Like, you gotta say nothing. You're like, oh, yeah, what he said. What she said in the comments. I just like it. Heart.
That's
Yeah,
so funny.
Heart.
Because they're defending you.
Yeah, defending me.
Yeah.
I've done my part. So
Yeah. Wow.
I think also though, like that hunger should manifest itself in the form of being adaptable and versatile. I always love how nowadays dancers are not afraid to combine different styles, but I also think they should bring that versatility in the sense of know what it's like not just being in front of the camera, but behind the camera too. Because I also think there's a great sense of hunger when you also know really what goes on behind the scenes, how to work a podcast, how to work a camera. These are all skills that are only going to help you in the long run. Because now you're an asset, like not just for yourself, but for other people.
Yep.
And you never know what those additional talents can bring you in the future.
That is such great, specific, tactical advice for anyone listening.
As you can tell, Workflow is all about dance and specifically the dancer. And for the last few months, we've been designing and developing our brand new platform, which is dedicated to the dance community. And we'll be launching the platform in just a few months. So make sure you're signed up to the waitlist so you can get early access and perks.
So you both have been in the dance world for a while now, and you've seen it evolve over time. What do you think the dance industry is missing?
See, so I think there's a big difference between the dance world and dance industry because like the industry is a little more giggy, like gigs, jobs, and then like the dance world is, oh man, it's so full of culture and versatility and family and unity. So as far as the dance industry, I think it's missing the roots and the rawness. It's missing its credibility. Like its flowers. It needs to be given more flowers. I think dance is such an underrated. The dance industry is such an underrated, underpaid industry to be in, and it really does make the world go round when it comes to artistry and entertainment and music and concerts and like, oh, 80% of these people who go on tour and they sing and you know put on shows, without the dancers, it would be so boring and whack and especially because sadly a lot of these people can't sing in live. And I'm sorry, but a lot of these new artists too cannot sing live. It's not like the back in the day where if you were a singer, it's because you could sing in the studio, outside the studio, whatever it was. And you know, yeah, I think it's missing its roots, its credibility, its flowers. It's missing its validation, man. Like, sadly, a lot of people who are in the dance industry are not validated enough for what they do. They put in so much time to move your body like that, so much to be on that stage dancing for 20, 30 minutes straight. That's a long time to get, you know, paid a decent amount. Like, I don't know. It just sucks. Which is why I always tell dancers, like, you know, make sure you're creating for yourself as much as you're giving to people, because you're going to give so much, you're going to get burnt out. And then you're going to realize I put all this time into giving. I didn't put any into myself. I didn't make sure I was good. And that's why a lot of people, you know, in the dance industry have, you know, probably rubbed them the wrong way, because I'm always there. I was like, well, you know, you don't do tours. I don't. I put into me. And I'm living a better life because I'm doing that. And like, I know that I'm good enough that, you know, I don't have to be dancing behind someone. Not to say the person I'm dancing behind would be bad or, you know, to the artist, but I put in just as much work as an artist. You put in just as much work as them artists singing on stage. You deserve to be a star too. Do you think that? If you don't think that, it's why you're in the mentality of gigs,
Yeah.
but then still only going living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. That's annoying. It needs more. Yeah.
That was a perfect soundbite. Perfect. Perfect.
Man, it's such a loaded question. But one of the things that comes to mind is, I think first off, the mindset that people need to realize is how lucky you are to even be in a position where you can dance for entertainment and as a source of income. Shout out to my education at UCLA. But for example, if you go to West Africa and you have a dance called Jelly-Don, the dance of the jelly, these are people who dance as literally part of their way of life. They dance for oral tradition. And that's not even for a form of entertainment. It's not for social media. That's literally their way of life. Here in the States, we get to say, oh, let me just shoot a quick TikTok. Let me shoot a dance video for a brand collaboration. We're in a position of privilege to be able to even do that.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, so that's my biggest thing, is the dance industry needs to kind of shift its mindset and realize that in addition to how lucky we are and blessed we are, we need to sort of change what we think is the peak of a choreographer and a freestyle dancer. So a lot of people think that the peak of a choreography dancer is dancing on stage next to Beyonce. And for a freestyle dancer, I know a lot of people think that it's just winning a lot of battles. But we're now in an age where this is where my mindset is at. Being a choreography dancer means I now have the skills to be able to pick up choreography, whether it's now for me, fight choreography, or I know how to command authority and I now know how to teach a large group of people, wide range of different ages, from 3 to people in their 20s, right? I now have that authority and that confidence and that new mindset to be able to handle large groups of people. For freestyle dance, I now know how to network with people and I know how to present myself and market myself to the point where, hey, I have all this experience. Let me show you why you should hire me. Here's what I'm worth. That's where my mindset is now. There are so many different avenues now in this digital age, and even just this age in general, not just digital, where it's not just the conventional ways of what we think is a choreographer and a freestyle dancer. So whether you're going to be your own solopreneur, whether you want to work as part of a dance crew, we have so many different options now. And I think what the dance industry needs more than ever is know what you want your relationship with dance to be. A person who sees dance as just a hobby is going to treat dance so much differently than someone who says, dance is my career. I want to live off of dance, because it literally affects everything that you do. How much you're posting. Why are you posting it? Are you posting because now your Instagram is your digital portfolio? Are you posting on your story because, oh, I did something fun? Are you posting because, oh, well, this is just a form of exercise that I love? Right? So I just want you to see that it literally affects everything you do.
Yep.
And it's not going to happen overnight. It takes time. But that was one of the biggest things that I had actually heard from Fik-Shun. It's know what kind of relationship you want to have with dance. How do I say it? What role do you want dance to play in your life? The sooner you can answer that question, the more defined your intentions and goals will become. And you're going to see a lot more progress. In fact, I would even go as far to say that there are a lot of dancers who are not seeing the growth they want to see because they don't know what role they want dance to play in their life.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Your
They don't know
body
what they
will,
want.
yeah. You literally react like it's like people say, like if you tell yourself you're gonna have a bad day, you're gonna have a bad day, and it's not because of anything around you happening bad. It's because you're actually portraying that from the inside out. Like people are so just happy and their mindset is a good day. It's harder to knock them off their feet because no matter what bad things come their way, they'll see the positive in it. Like you naturally will move that way. So, which is why with that intention with dance, if you don't know what you want from it and what you want to do with it and who you are in it, you're gonna move like that.
Yeah.
You're gonna move like you don't know, like it's disgenuine or ingenuine and all that stuff. So yeah, that's super important.
Yeah.
Super important.
Hear all that. Life. It's a good life lesson too.
Yeah. The earth was not
Absolutely.
made from the outside in, it was made from the inside out. Like you can't put it wasn't the crust and then the boom and then blah, then the core. No, it's the core and then it builds up from that. So that inner affects everything outside.
1000%.
And it should also serve as a beacon of hope, because I the last thing I would want is for dancers to feel so limited. Like, oh, I have to go on tour with this artist. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to live the type of life I want to live. Like, no, there are literally so many dancers who are making a living off of dance literally by not doing those conventional things. And Fik-Shun knows this better than anyone else.
Exactly. I mean, we were born at a time when technology changed so many things at different points in our lives within our lifetime. Like YouTube came out in 2005.
Yep.
Instagram came out a few years after that. And then TikTok recently in the last 5 years, like in the US at least.
Yep.
So we've seen all these inflection points in how people can utilize different mediums and like even things like Patreon. So we've literally like seen so many people pave their own way, and we didn't do that just so the next generation could be like, oh, I have to do it this way.
Right.
Like, no, the thing to take away is that you can create your own path.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Flexibility.
You got to stretch. I'm on fire today.
Love you, Jesse.
What's something you wish non-dancers knew about dance?
Oh my goodness.
He's ready.
It's the hardest thing to do in the world. No, this hard is relevant, but it's what do I wish they knew? I wish they knew how much goes into it. I wish they knew that even the smallest things, like what's simple to me, I've tried to teach the person who's not a dancer, and I'm just like, why can't you do this? Oh, it's that this simple thing is that difficult because a lot of people don't even think to like want to be a master of their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Like dancers are a master of their bodies, and that stuff translates so well. Some of the best actors are dancers. Like that body acting that they have on camera stuff, they're also good dancers. They learn how to how to do that. I think again it should just be more valued, and I think they should just know that we dancers put in a lot to entertain your everyday person.
What are some of the things that we put in?
Oh man, hours, sweat, injury,
Cross training.
What happened?
Cross training.
Oh yeah, cross training, and exercising. Our personal like experiences, like you were talking about earlier, like our joys, our heartbreak, our sadness. Like when you go see a show and a dancer or dance made you cry or something, that's coming from real emotions from those dancers. It's not just I'm not just waving my arm and then, oh, this is a sadness move, so you feel sadness. No.
Mm-hmm.
I am giving you my actual heart or my actual feelings and emotions. We're vulnerable. We're very vulnerable when we're dancing, especially the best performers and the best dancers. So I do want people who don't dance, non-dancers, to know that like we give a lot to entertain you, and we just hope that we are appreciated in the long run, genuinely, because I do think the world would be such a dull, sadder place if dance just didn't exist tomorrow. People would be, they wouldn't know what to do with themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
truly feel that way.
Yeah.
I would definitely want non-dancers to know that dancers are never just the dancers. We're never just the entertainers. We are also the solopreneurs who are struggling to try to run our own business and market ourselves. We are also the social media managers for ourselves, right? Or for our crews. We are also we're the agents. We're the people who are actively looking out to try to find gigs for ourselves and for others, depending on who you rock with. We are so many different things on and off camera, which is why I made that emphasis on being versatile, because especially a lot of freestyle dancers I know, you have to be in that position just in order to survive and to pay your rent. You have to acquire all these different skills, and I feel like a lot of people don't understand that, because all they see is, oh, you took this class with Matt Stefanina, that was cool. But it's like, there's more to it than just taking classes. There's more to it than just competitions.
Also because that content looks so glamorous.
Yes.
But it's so easy to just think that that is exactly what it is and nothing else.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, it's and it really is tough too. Even the people, I'm obviously not going to say names out of respect, but there are a lot of dancers whose lives, they look picture perfect on social media. But I've gotten to talk with them one-on-one, and you would be shocked by how much they're actually making. And when I hear these stories, these real stories of successful dancers struggling to pay rent, that really puts things into perspective for me.
Yeah.
So that's also who we are too. We are struggling artists. Not all of us, but we also do experience those real challenges just like everyone else. We're trying to get that gas money. We're trying to pay our rent.
That's right.
Right?
I want you guys to complete the sentence. My ultimate dream in dance is...
to leave behind a unforgettable legacy and to be able to continuously inspire, even after I'm gone, people to want to dance, entertain, smile, laugh, and enjoy life.
Beautiful.
To create, inspire, and aim higher, to move and be moved, and to understand the beauty of movement, not just in the form of my body, but in the form of the world around me, and appreciate that movement is always going to be internal and external, and it's all around us. And as part of acknowledging that in my life, I want to see how those different forms of movement can have a positive impact on the lives of others.
You guys are so great. One last question, actually. Let's throw another one in there. My ultimate dream in life is...
ultimate dream in life is
Something light, something easy.
Oh,
Yeah,
just get my
surface level question.
You're my favorite color,
Just
red.
give my
yeah.
parents a house, both of them.
Mm.
Yeah, their own house. Just boom. I could go away the next day after that and be smiling in my grave. Like,
Wow.
yep, gave him a house.
Yes.
I want to be able to give back to every single person who has given to me, and I'm not just talking in terms of finances or, that monetary value, but even just being able to dedicate more time. Because as I get older, I'm realizing that is such a beautiful life currency. Is the gift of your time.
Yes.
So I want to be able to give back time and money to those who have given so much to me, because I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them.
Beautiful.
part.
Yeah. Well, you guys, thank you so much for your time today. I feel honored. I learned so much about both you guys and just dance and life as a whole. Let's close out with a quick shout out to your communities, past and present.
Ooh. Shout out to all my family. Man, I don't want to start saying names because I'm gonna forget a name and then somebody gonna be like, "You didn't say my name."
And it's like you won like an Oscar and you're forgetting someone.
Yeah,
Right.
man, it's a wrap. Shout out to my best friends. Shout out to mom, dad, close family. Shout out to FWC, my fight team. Right now, we've been kicking ass this year with all of our action content. Shout out to I'm gonna actually say one name, and this isn't because they're better than anyone or anything like that, but this person always inspires me and reminds me that to keep going. Actually, I'm not gonna say his name. He knows who he is. But I have a friend who, no matter what, the hardest of times, the darkest of times, he never stops dancing. And he has lost a lot in life. He's lost family. He's lost friends. Things that I haven't lost yet in my life. And anytime my life gets hard, I'm trying not to cry. Anytime my life gets hard, I look at him and I think it could be much worse. And not only, does he keep going, but he does it with a smile on his face. And he always still supports me in everything I do. Yeah, you know who you are. I love you, bro. And no matter what, don't stop. Because I honestly think that if it came to a point where he gives up, I'll probably give up too. But yeah, shout out to him and and everybody else who supports me. Ay. Sorry. Okay.
No, you're good.
Chilling.
Go
That
on.
was beautiful.
real.
Thank you for sharing that.
Speaking from the heart.
Thank you.
Well, of course, I want to give a quick shout out to Code. Rest in peace, my friend. There are so many people that are not able to be with us today, but it is definitely a beautiful source of inspiration, and it really feeds into my why. Not even just to the martial arts thing I said earlier, but just the type of person that I want to be in general. I want to be someone who honors myself and, of course, the people who paved the way, whether they're with me here or in my heart now and in spirit. And, of course, I also just want to thank also FWC and the people who are continuing to support me in ways that I never expected. I feel like that's been such a motif in my life right now where there are people coming through the woodworks that I never would have expected. So I welcome those beautiful people who serve as the surprise and that sort of that unexpected excitement in my life. I'm really grateful for those people especially. And also Victory Martial Arts and just my martial arts training and my martial arts family and my dance family as well. Of course, I have to thank my parents and my amazing brother. And I want to thank you, Jesse, for all the incredible, for the incredible work that you've been doing. I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it really is those people like you who are going to continue inspiring the future next generation of dancers that, hey, there are other ways that I can make dance my career, and there are other ways that I can be successful in dance. It's not just the monetary value, but it's being able to bring that joy or whatever it is for these dancers. You are providing that platform and letting people know there are other ways. There is another way, and I'm
Thank
here to
you
make
so
that happen.
much.
So thank you to you, Jesse.
Thank you. It's because you all inspire me. and I look around at this world of, just incredible people, and how it makes no sense. Like, how come why wouldn't they be valued a certain way? Why wouldn't they be paid a certain way? It keeps me up at night. It grinds my gears. There's like a mismatch in value and systems. So thank you so much for saying that. I feel so validated and so loved. And again, like, you guys, I love your own each individual stories and all of the ways that you guys kind of intertwine certain themes. So this was a perfect mix of guests.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. I think we're good. Thank you, Angelito.